Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of Raidercast, the podcast that delves into all things Lara Croft and Tomb Raider. Today I am joined by a very special recurring guest to talk about the fashion of Tomb Raider.
Hello, it's so nice to be back.
It's
in person this time.
It's very good to have you back again.
No geographical issues, no COVID issues. We're in person and we're outside of Derby for the first time.
I know. So yeah, we've met a couple of times face to face before in Derby, and of course we did the previous episode about the Cradle of Life. But would you like to briefly reintroduce yourself so that everyone knows who they're watching or listening to?
Yeah, my name is Jonathon. I am from Scotland, but any opportunity I can get to go to somewhere Lara's been or meet some of Lara's fellow followers, I'll take it up. I started playing Tomb Raider back in 1999 with the release of Tomb Raider 3. I know that was the year before, but I got my PlayStation 1 in 99. And yeah, it is, I always say it's an obsession. It's been an obsession with mine, and I say an obsession because it's something I am infatuated with, and it's never ever went away. Every stage of my life, school, college, uni, and adult now, Lara has been there in one way or another. So
amazing.
Yeah,
I think a lot of people will be able to relate quite strongly to that.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. What is that then? Like 22, 23 years of just commitment, I guess.
Yeah.
But it isn't commitment because it doesn't feel like a job being a Tomb Raider or Lara fan. It's more a pleasure. There's always something new, even at the times like just now where there isn't a lot of new games or new TV or movies. Your love for it will always just keep you going.
That's beautifully put. That's really
good.
No, I think it's up to the fans to maintain their passion. I think throughout like you're saying, the calmer times, the quiet times, and now we were just chatting before about how this is currently the longest period between games that I think we've ever had.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there would be someone out there that would point us wrong, but I definitely think this is the longest. I think maybe second place would now be the gap between Underworld and the reboot. I definitely think there's something cooking.
There were rumours that it's further through production than we expect, and we can expect maybe something teased this year, which would be nice. I'd like to believe it's a bit further on than we think. So let's dive into the topic at hand, the fashion of Tomb Raider, because Lara has been known to change outfit a fair bit along the way across all of her adventures.
Yeah.
So let's go from the beginning, I guess.
From the beginning, you know, I think when everyone thinks about Lara Croft, I mean, if you're our age, you picture this kind of Lara as she is here. The kind of green / turquoise tank top / bodysuit with the brown shorts, the gun holsters, the brown boots with the socks and the backpack.
And the red glasses.
Yeah, and the glasses as well. Even when you look at some of the early drawings, I think they're like the 1995 drawings from Core, she still has this look. I think in some of these drawings her hair is a little more red. She looks a little bit more aggressive, but it's clear that this was always the kind of image, I guess if it was Toby Gard or the rest of the original core team had, this was something that started in conception and actually made it to the final result of the game. And yeah, I mean that's even if you like took Lara's head off, we just had that would be recognised around the world.
It's iconic.
It's James Bond's tuxedo. It's just what she is known for. So for Tomb Raider 1, I think it was great that they just stuck with us.
Yeah.
Like this is her character, this is who she is, what she wears.
It's kind of brand identity.
Yeah, and it's strange because, and I don't quote me on this, I'm sure someone will prove me wrong, but growing up again in the 90s, as a child the same age or the same time I got into Tomb Raider, I was watching things like The Simpsons or Scooby-Doo, and all of these characters always have the same outfit. It's always the same, the clothes they wear, and you know that character for their outfit, but you know, like, I'm sure there's a couple of episodes or whatever Bart Simpson changes his look, but you know, they're always in that same look they're known for. However, going into Tomb Raider 2, that just threw a massive curveball, I guess, into especially gaming, where gaming was at. With the release of Tomb Raider 2, I think everyone was expecting, you know, the same Lara. It was only a year after the first game.
Even her hair was like a big change. The technology allowed it, or they realised how to do it properly with the technology
with
they
the
had.
ponytail,
And even that was quite a distinction from how she did look.
Yeah. I think if you're a super fan, you could look at a screen grab from 1 and 2 from Lara from the back and easily distinguish each game, even though, you know, there's like 10 to 11 months of production between them. But Tomb Raider 2 allowed us for the first time to come back and be with Lara as we had been in the original, but see her now in the Sola wetsuit for the first time, and the Tibetan mountain jacket with the fur. So it was almost like a little bit of a shock in a good way when that next level loaded and you're like, oh,
it's something different.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
And it kind of made you go down this place in your head, and you know that Lara lived in Croft Manor. Did she have this like wardrobe, and did she pick these things, and did she pack them, and does she own them? And it just did that thing that we all talk about, and is, you know, kind of mentioned through anything to do with Tomb Raider, that she was a person, especially at that time in the late 90s, even before the movies. She was like a character.
Yeah.
You know, I think it was with the release of Tomb Raider 2, she was on the cover of The Face.
Yeah. And
I think it was going into Tomb Raider 3.
She was like a digital icon.
Yeah. I mean, there was pictures of her in an Alexander McQueen suit, and I think it was from like the 97, 98 collection. But it just was crazy. Like, I remember, and I was younger at the time, wondering if she's real. Like, this character's wearing like just off the runway Alexander McQueen. Like, when has that ever happened for another fictional character? It was just crazy. And you know, Alexander McQueen's such, or probably one of the most famous British fashion designers, and you can't get more British than Lara Croft. So it really was like,
it's a great match.
Yeah,
it's a really cool
she's
match.
Like a aristocrat English lady.
I'm trying to think if any other contemporary characters in the 90s were given that or anywhere near the same level of treatment in terms of fashion and publicity that Lara was. I know she was like a powerhouse, like tour de force of, well, as a character in the limelight. I don't think anyone else came close. You had other famous characters, of course, and other famous female gaming characters, especially from the likes of Resident Evil. But I don't think Jill or Claire ever had the Lara fashion icon treatment that I'm aware of. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think you're right. I mean, even if you take it back to that times when Tomb Raider got released, same year Resident Evil did, so say like 96 to 99. I think Jill, you know, had her mansion outfit and then a Resident Evil 3 outfit. They were those games, and by the way, I love both of those outfits. Like, I'm a big fan of both of them. But no, I completely agree. Lara was just at this point of it was, I know she's a video game character, but is she real? Like, is she still a real person? It was maybe it was just me being younger, but there definitely was a line of reality and fiction there.
That's fantastic. It's like they're using fashion to actually bring her to life.
Yeah, almost.
Yeah.
But I think for me personally, with the release of Tomb Raider 3 was when it was like, whoa, it actually did get better. And for me personally, I know there is some people that will say, you know, Tomb Raider 3 was starting to become reductive, or that's when it was showing the cracks, or that's when the critics started bringing it down. I mean, full transparency, Tomb Raider 3 is my favourite game, but the looks in Tomb Raider 3 just made it even more obvious that Lara could be a person. That outfit...
I was going to say, which is your favourite from that game?
I think it's hard from Tomb Raider 3, obviously, because there's not one that I don't like. I think I'm going to have to go out and say the London catsuit.
That's a good choice.
That was completely different than what we'd seen her in before. Mm-hmm. It was great because that level section is obviously at night, and she's creeping around and she's fitting in, and it's black. And there was just something...
It's like a spy movie about it.
Yeah, there was just something so cool about that. My first ever Lara Croft figure was the London
little one
catsuit with the kind of Doberman coming around. I loved that outfit. It was just at that point the peak for me. But what's not to like about Tomb Raider 3? What about you?
I'm torn between, I think, the London catsuit, for the reasons you said as well, and the Nevada outfit with the sort of blue camo and the black top. It was always quite funny. Like in the renders, she even had like a belly piercing for that render. Yeah, never really popped up again. There's a cool thing as well to think of as with the London catsuit. Obviously, we have another version of the catsuit in Chronicles when she's infiltrating VCI, and yet the one in London, the sleeves are cut short, and there's something about it that even though it's sort of like spy espionage, it's kind of casual at the same time. Yeah. So she's like, I'm going to sneak around the rooftops of London, but I'm going to look cool doing it.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, good for pointing that out. I've never realised that the Chronicles catsuit is...
it's full sleeve.
Yeah, wrist length. And then when you're saying the Nevada outfit, we also kind of get a flip of that at Croft Manor.
With the brown...
It's like a brown version of the same, but I loved them both. I thought that was such a... I think the ones where it was... they were brown reminded me at the time specifically of Mel B.
Wow, Scary Spice
Girls. Just because they were at their peak at the same time as Tomb Raider 3, it was all just very, just crazy. Like she was almost taking something from pop culture again that was British.
There was a big tie over with the girl power movement from the Spice Girls and Lara Croft as well. You had that sort of female empowerment coming at you from all sides. The first game made an appearance in the Spice World movie as well, which I was
on the box.
The camera pans past and it's just the menu screen or something.
Yeah,
that was fun.
No, it was definitely a fantastic time. I'm sad in a way that I was a little bit younger. I would have loved to have had that time as a little bit older, when girl power went from being a phrase to a phase.
Oh wow!
And there was just so much at that time. I mean, looking back, that really did so much for obviously women, but you know, also as me being a little bit more feminine as a little boy. I just loved that time. There was, you know, Lara Croft, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Xena, Spice Girls. It was just such a great time. Yeah. Such a great time. But yeah, definitely Lara out of all of those is the one that followed through.
Kind of, it's still going. There's another thing to think about as well with Tomb Raider 3 in terms of style and practicality. I think it's Tomb Raider 3 where those lines properly started to blur, because she went to a very, very cold place in Tomb Raider 2 and she has the jacket, which is great. But that's all. She's still got her shorts on. So I think I've heard people saying how it's completely impractical, and you know, who would wear that? Who would just wear shorts in the Tibetan mountains?
Yeah.
Circumstances were different. Maybe she would have chose to wear something else. But in Tomb Raider 3, when she knows she's going to Antarctica, she dresses much more, dare I say, appropriately for the environment. So she has the big orange bomber jacket. She has the trousers, which I always imagined were like camo, but really like thermal as well.
Yeah, and they definitely did that, and I think that's something that games will always face. Like, you can't make things too realistic because sometimes it just will not be fun to play. For example, if you were to make it that if Lara got shot once in real life, if she got shot once, she probably could die.
Yeah.
But it's just that fight between making the game look and feel realistic, but actually sometimes making it realistic isn't going to be much of a game. But saying that, what they did in Tomb Raider 3 in the Antarctica section is the temperature.
I'd forgotten about the temperature, but
that was something that was feeding into that did make it more realistic. It was annoying as hell, but it did make it more realistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think moving into Tomb Raider 4, and we were speaking about this earlier. A lot's been said that the team that were working on Tomb Raider 4 had maybe heard a lot of criticism that the environments in 2 and 3 were going more urban, and with Tomb Raider The Last Revelation they wanted to bring it back to the original. They also did that with the fashion.
Yes. Yeah.
They did that. We were kind of in this evolution, and then it just kind of went back with Tomb Raider 4. We get the opening in Angkor Wat with the 16-year-old Lara.
Yeah.
And that was cool to see. Cool to see.
I like her pigtails. I always liked her pigtails in that.
Yeah, no, I did as well. I remember actually playing that for the first time, being like, "What's happening here?" For the remainder of the game, we go back to classic Lara. In a way, it was actually kind of nice because the classic outfit is certainly by Tomb Raider 3 had become token almost. I think to my memory, you only play as Lara in this outfit in Tomb Raider 3 in India.
Yes.
Someone's going to catch us out here.
I know, there's going to be something we say. I'm sure, no, in the first India levels, yes, and then she wears a different thing for South Pacific, Nevada, London, and then Antarctica is, they're all different costumes. We're safe.
But yeah, it was actually kind of nice going into The Last Revelation and just having this feel again, this classic outfit. And maybe it's just because to me, if you were to say that two of the classic games felt like each other the most, it would be Tomb Raider 1 and The Last Revelation. For me personally.
That's interesting. I've never considered it to be like that. And I still think to this day Tomb Raider 1 and 4 are my top tier Tomb Raider games.
It's just a lot of this kind of Lara in Tombs, a lot of this kind of colour.
Yeah.
It's just the kind of Tomb sand colour. But yeah, so for that game I didn't mind. I really didn't mind. Whilst Tomb Raider 3 is my favourite game, and it's my favourite game for costumes as well, it was actually more refreshing to go back. And in a way, at that point, I guess, sorry that took a long way to get there, Tomb Raider The Last Revelation could have been the final chapter.
I know they were considering it.
And that, obviously, spoiler alert for what happens at the end of The Last Revelation, but it was nice then to get the first game all in this one, Evolution, and then to finish in this
back
one.
with that, so it bookended it quite nicely.
Yeah, like if the first time we see her in Calcutta in the opening shot of Tomb Raider 1, she's in this.
Yeah.
And the last time we see her
at the end of 4.
At the end of 4 is in this as well. So yeah.
That's nice. We have a lot of different things. I think there's another 4 costumes in Tomb Raider 5 as well. We have initially the classic outfit.
Classic.
I can never remember the order of the levels.
No, I always the same until very recently. So
is it Ireland first or Russia?
Rome.
No, sorry, after Rome.
Russia.
So Rome, Russia, Ireland,
yes,
New York.
Yes. So for Rome.
Yep, classic.
Which was very strange, because at the start of Tomb Raider Chronicles we get the cutscene of Pierre and Larson in the opera house, and we have Lara in this stunning, strapless, long, almost like a navy.
It's like a silk satin.
Oh, it was just lovely dress, and
we'd never seen her like that before.
No, like it was just very Lady Lara Croft, so sophisticated, and then she lunges out from one of the boxes onto the stage, and then she goes out the back and escapes on the pizza scooter. I remember playing the game for the first time, and when that cutscene ends, it then starts the level, and she's wearing this.
It's also daylight as well, like everything changes. It's sort of like, maybe there was someone different in charge of the cutscene and the actual gameplay. They didn't quite marry it properly.
I would just have loved to playing Lara in that first game, in that first level, in that dress.
And if she didn't have guns, it would have been like melee combat as well, like as she did in the Opera House.
It would have just made that a little bit more better. But there is someone who has modded this so that you can play as Lara in that long navy dress. Yeah,
I didn't know that. I'll have to look out for that.
It definitely does exist. I do have a picture of it on my Twitter. It does exist.
Okay.
But yeah, next up in Chronicles was the Russian camel submarine beanie.
Yeah.
Look. Okay.
It's fine.
Yeah, that was okay. That was okay.
The beanie was new.
Yeah.
I don't think we've ever had her in a hat before.
Again, going back to what you were saying, it's more realistic.
Yeah, it's realistic. It is going for the practical. I mean, she didn't not look cool. She did look cool, but it was. I think by this stage, we had a past catalogue of choices of things that I don't mean that in a sort of shady way. I mean it like we have a past catalogue of Lara's outfits from which to choose other styles and other looks. And I don't personally think it's one of her strongest, but it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. It does a job. It does a job. And then Ireland was just a kind of redux, which is a word that fits very well with Tomb Raider Chronicles, which I do love, but it was young Lara again. So it was just...
It only got
it
one
was
outfit.
The same outfit, wasn't it?
Yes.
The exact same, yeah. It was the same outfit from the opening segment of The Last Revelation. And then to finish... VCI headquarters in New York was
the full catsuit.
Full catsuit, so wrist to wrist, and with the headset.
Yes, the headset was new. It was the black glasses as well, which didn't really make sense because it was night
and inside.
Were they? Am I remembering correctly? Were they like augmented reality glasses? Like she would have like overlays on them, or am I just completely having a false memory?
You might be thinking of Cradle of Life.
Yeah, I might be.
The thing that comes out that she can see.
Yeah.
But that was very, and I know I'm not the first person to say this about that segment in that game, very Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
I mean, like you remember the segment where she's running in the catsuit down the hall, and there's like a scan.
That was awesome. That was so cool.
It was just very Mission Impossible. She was going in there for the iris.
Yes, gonna steal it back
to get it and then to get out. But it was almost camp.
It was
that the vibe. Yeah, it was almost quite camp. But I did like it. I did like it. And then
interestingly, I don't know what other people thought. It's just something that always used to pop into my mind occasionally. I always used to think that the London catsuit was leather and the VCI catsuit was PVC, like shiny, and apparently they're both leather. Leather. I was looking in the official core style guide, and it's got all like the diagrams of all of the outfits. When it comes to both of those, they both say leather. Like,
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah, I would have definitely. My money would have been on PVC for the Chronicles one for sure.
It just looked shiny. It looked too shiny for leather.
I think chronologically
we can hop into the films.
Yeah.
You know a lot about the films, so I'll let you take this.
Yeah. I mean, I think with anyone at that time, when you heard that there was a Tomb Raider movie coming out, you thought you were going to get this. At least I did. I was, expecting the green top, brown shorts, the rest. When the first promotional photos come out of Angelina Jolie wearing the black t-shirt with the black shorts, and her hair wasn't in the kind of down and then the plait that we had in the games. It was more of, Angelina has said herself, a mohawk. It was her plait starts up here and goes down.
Wow.
I was disappointed at the start when I seen those and was like, oh, this isn't what I pictured, or this isn't the game Lara Croft. What are we at now? My God. 22 years later?
Yep.
Isn't
it mad to think, just as an aside, that there was
as I said that.
5 years between Tomb Raider starting and that first film, and now 22 years have passed since then.
But I love it now. I think it's just another version of Lara. I think it was a sign of the times as well. I think that just looks, as the kids say now, Y2K. Y2K, Y2K vibe, Y2K aesthetic, everything about it. But that's, that stood its ground as well. That outfit, that first Tomb Raider movie poster is iconic.
Yeah.
Like, everybody knows that, everyone from that time remembers. I mean, half the people, and this is no discredit to Angelina Jolie, who I love, but when they see Angelina Jolie now, they'll say Lara Croft.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ask them what they saw in their head, they're probably seen that poster.
Yeah.
And then my personal favourite from the first film would definitely be the Siberian husky.
With the furry hood.
Loved. Just very Lara Croft, very Lady Lara Croft as well. And then to round the film off, we had that
beautiful dress at the end with the hat.
The big white hat. That I mean, I guess I know I've just said it, but that was Lady Lara Croft. That was just a way you'd never seen her before, and I don't think we ever see her again, especially with her hair completely down.
Not in the films.
Yeah, It was just very graceful. And then jumping over to Core's last outing with Lara.
Well, Cradle of Life was first now, or was it not? Did they sort of came out around the same time?
Yeah, June 2003.
Yeah.
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 Okay, Cradle of Life.
Let's stick with the films.
Cradle of Life. Yeah, it was. It had almost been a tradition in Lara's second outing to see her in a wetsuit. We didn't get it in Tomb Raider 1, we got it in Tomb Raider 2.
I remember you saying this.
We didn't get that in Tomb Raider 1, but we got it in the Cradle of Life. And that, we were speaking about this as well, that silver wetsuit is pretty iconic as well. I preferred that to the solo one.
Really? Yeah, that's cool.
It was just very Lara Croft, especially when they come up into the Luna Temple. It's just a great costume, and it was Lindy Hemming again who did the costume design for the second film. Cradle of Life. Then we had was that the biker one next with the silver gold? Was it a embroidered tiger?
Yeah.
Jacket. I loved it. Wasn't my favourite.
I think the wetsuit was more iconic.
Yeah. I think the wetsuit does take it for Cradle of Life. She has a couple others later on, but the only other one that stands out to me was when she is, and I don't know the name of this sport, so forgive me, but when her and Hillary are using the bamboo poles.
Oh, yes.
Where they're fencing almost. I know it's not fencing, but it's like a long black,
slightly flowy trousers, martial arts.
Yeah, it was something different, but again fitted so well with the film. But yeah, the films followed on from the games. They let us see into her wardrobe.
Yes.
And just fleshed her out more as a character.
The outfits almost became like attributes in themselves to what was happening around her.
100%, and the core, as I was saying, Core's last outing with Lara came the same month as the Cradle of Life with the Angel of Darkness, which I think this is your one.
There are so many outfits in that I actually love. I remember there were people actually then saying that double denim is a choice. I loved it.
It was so great.
It just looks awesome because it's casual and it looks good on her, and that's how she starts the game on the run. Completely unprepared. It's like you don't want to be running and jumping and stuff in like tight jeans and stuff. It's not the most practical, but she looked damn good doing it.
It was so good. It was such a change as well. I loved it.
It was. I think in previous outings she had all of these outlandish costumes, but nothing that you would ever really find yourself wearing.
I was just thinking that it was more casual.
It was very casual. It was very relatable as far as costumes go. But another aspect of the Angel of Darkness costume that I really liked was when you think of like the classic Lara outfit in Angel of Darkness, it was much more like Angelina's in the first film.
Yeah, the
black with the shorts. And Lara goes through this journey, but as she's going through these different environments, she takes layers off till you finally get down to that. So she starts off in her sort of like little jacket with the black top underneath and these camo pants. I think a bit later on she takes that little jacket off, you don't see it, but then she's in a black top with the camo pants. And then later on again, she somehow, I don't know, she tears the bottom half of her trousers off, she's just in shorts.
Yeah.
So it's sort of, the layers are sort of breaking down as she's going through the story.
More realistic though, same
so.
as you were saying earlier, more realistic.
And then again, we have a reprise of the solar wetsuit. I think it's solar. It looks kind of similar.
Yeah, I forgot about that wetsuit.
Which I guess she wears over her classic outfit, because then a level later she takes it off and she's got her clothes with her.
Yeah, I definitely think. Do you see it hanging up? I might be making this up.
Yes,
I remember,
you see
and she gets
the wetsuit and the breathalyzer? No,
it's got a really
rebreather.
Ah,
I think at least in the newer games it's called a rebreather.
No,
oxygen mask. Aqualung.
Is that what it is? Aqualung? Yeah,
like the bit.
Yeah,
with the...
but no, it would totally make sense for her to jump into it.
Yeah, why not?
Which she actually does in Tomb Raider 2, by the way.
Oh,
in that scene where the monk
you're right.
is dying, you see her kind of.
Yeah.
You don't see, it's off camera.
Yeah.
But yeah, she's one for privacy. And then Legend.
Yes. So with that being the last core game, I think Crystal they really focused on the fashion aspect of Lara's life.
Yeah, we were speaking about this earlier. We knew Lara's wardrobe as a figurative thing, but for the first time in Legend, you actually get to see her wardrobe.
Yeah.
In her room, it was like, so that's where all this stuff has been, in all of these wardrobes for all of this time. But I've got a question. If I say Tomb Raider Legend outfit, what comes to your mind?
To be honest, I think it's the costume right at the very start from Tiwanaku, the sort of the brown top and the shorts. But as soon as you said that, my mind raced through like several different ones, and it's either going to be that, the ripped dress, or the biker outfit, which I think they took from the film.
The England level, yeah. For me, if someone says Tomb Raider Legend, the first thing that pops up is the opening, the Bolivia outfit, but as soon as I take a second, it's that Japan dress.
Yeah,
that was great. Is that the first time we see her in a game in a dress? Yeah, in
game. Yeah, and hair down. It's the first time I see her hair down.
I loved that. That was just such a great look for her at that time, and You know, Tomb Raider Legend had a lot to live up to.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that Crystal did really well, was taking Lara's wardrobe and as almost like a supporting character into that game. They could have easily just said, you know, we've got it now and we're going back to basics.
Mm-hmm.
That's the whole game. But they let us see so much more of her looks throughout that whole film, that whole game. Sorry.
It was almost like a mini game in itself as well, because it was, I think, just collecting the secrets let you unlock
costumes.
More outfits.
Oh, I forgot about these.
And there were so many. I don't know how many there were. I want to say.
I remember
a 30 or something mad.
A big. Was there a Union Jack?
Yes.
I remember that. These were choices.
Yeah.
These were choices.
I mean, it fits her character, but I was like, oh.
Yeah. No.
There were some not great looks in that wardrobe.
No. And then speaking of not great looks, we literally dive into Tomb Raider Underworld.
Not a fan.
It's the top and it's not the bottom.
Okay.
But I mean, dive just because at the start of that game.
Oh goodness, of course.
Prologue aside, we see her literally dive in
another wetsuit,
but probably the teeniest wetsuit we've seen her in.
It's definitely
high cut. Is that what they say?
I guess so. It's very fitting. Like,
yes. Yeah.
Like a thong, effectively.
It was. Yeah, it was short.
It was very short.
It was short. And bare feet as well. That was one thing that stuck out for me. See when you're fighting the Kraken octopus, and we're running along, the bare feet. That's
painful.
Not. Yeah, that was. I always remember thinking that is sore. That's sore.
That in a way has just. I've had a throwback now to. Not really overthinking costumes as I was playing the games as a kid, but then as an adult replaying Tomb Raider 2, and she's running around in the rusty corridors barefoot on the ship.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my god, tetanus.
Yeah. It's true though. No, it is true.
That didn't look comfy at all, running around on the rocky stones in Underworld in the barefoot.
No. To be honest, I'm gonna say I can't really think of any other Underworld looks that are jumping out.
There's one for me which is kind of her standard classic, well, I guess a new classic look for this game, and it was the slightly greenish brown top and shorts combo.
Coastal Thailand?
Yes, or the one that was in a lot of the early pictures and renders, like when she's like in Mexico, even though I don't think you got a choice to wear that in Mexico unless you do. Maybe
no, that outfit, that was fine.
They continued to take that though, because the top itself had that sort of dual texture thing about it, which I think the front was like smooth, but the sides had these patches almost like that continued in her outfit in the spin-off games, the Lara Croft and also Shadow.
Yeah, that's exactly what's jumping out to mind. The
side
panel,
patches. Yeah. So that was something that I think they hooked onto, as they felt comfortable that was an iconic part of her top going forwards from Underworld.
Yeah. And then we have the outfit in the colder levels. It's dark and she's on the motorbike at one point. Yeah, that one. I think it's not that these outfits were bad. I think by this point, you know, inclusive of Anniversary, we were 8 games in, 2 movies in, we'd seen a lot, and maybe a lot was starting to not repeat but just be variations of.
Yeah. So on to the reboots. And everything changes.
Everything changes.
Her look, her style, it's very modern. In a sense, it's real.
Yes, some of the earlier outfits were not practical, whether it was the environment, what she was touching or grabbing, or the weather she was in. Some of them just weren't practical. The Survivor trilogy, they actually are quite practical. They're more covered up.
Yeah.
And then, you know, people have different opinions on these are the kind of things that this version of Lara she chose to wear because she felt empowered to wear them. However, our survivor Lara wore them for
a lot of practicality. It's like something that immediately springs to mind is the red jacket outfit from the start of Rise.
No, I really like that one.
That looked good.
Yeah, I really like that.
It looked so comfy.
Yeah. No, it did. But it was completely practical.
Yeah.
Just from that starting part. Yeah. Do you know, I would probably say that is my favourite look from the Survivor trilogy.
I was going to say my favourite outfit from the Survivor trilogy is the default from Shadow, but I've just thought of one of the alternative looks in Rise. This amazing brown, like adventurer jacket, like old school adventurer jacket with this amazing red scarf accent with almost horse riding trousers and these high boots.
Yeah.
It's like, that looks awesome. That looks really cool. I like that style, and I wish that had been kind of the look from Rise.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think the only other ones that are sticking out is, and again because we're in that costume a lot of the game, is the 2013 costume.
Yeah.
Like if you say Survivor Lara, to me that's what I picture, that's what popped into my head. I liked it. It had that whole shipwrecked, stranded, I mean, there's no words for what she went through in that island. Shipwrecked, chic, stranded, tortured, fallen, like it was fine, it fitted. But with that shadow look, you know, the main shadow look that we're just talking about, that definitely is a nod.
I think so. It's like like Tomb Raider 1
garment,
to
garment cut and colour.
The bluish rather than the greenish.
It's not it's not like a direct copy. It's just a kind of.
I think that was definitely deliberate. That was 100% like a nod to the character she is, or as they said, she is becoming the Tomb Raider. It's something that she is heading towards.
Yeah. And then we had some outfits in Shadow that were
controversial.
Yeah. You know, it's interesting because some of the people that say the Survivor outfits are some of the most practical, then we have some of these outfits that, you know, I get it's the vibe of the game. It was based on the location of the game and people that we met in the game.
Sort of blend in with that sort of community,
and it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun to see it. But you know, if you're a realist, it wouldn't be something you'd be running around Mexico and.
I guess it's the same sort of logic as, well, maybe the same but flipped as like Tomb Raider 2 and the bomber jacket with shorts in the snow.
Exactly.
It looks fun. You would never wear it.
Yeah.
Maybe if you went to an undiscovered tribe in South America and they gave you these outfits to wear, you would feel compelled to.
That is true.
But it's not the best for her lifestyle and her activities, I guess. Because there's a lot of bits that could easily just get caught on things as she was running, like bone necklaces and feathers and all of these things that don't necessarily make running and jumping and climbing the easiest thing, I would imagine.
No, not at all. If you could pick a look from any of the previous games or movies to see in the future Tomb Raider game, which would it be?
Good question. I would say, actually, probably the black top shorts combo from the first Angelina film. I think if the next trailer for the next game had her make some mad, bombastic, dramatic entrance and like backlit, like this iconic, like two guns, hair, whatever, and then the sort of light sort of panned round and she was wearing like that black top shorts combo, that would be. Wow, that would look awesome. Yeah. I don't think we'll get that, to be honest. I can dream.
I don't even think that's too much of a dream. I think that could be very easily done in a very tasteful and big way. I think mine would have to be You know what? I'm actually surprised at my answer. I think mine would be the catsuit from Chronicles.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I think a more modern version of that. Yeah. Not for the whole game, for a small segment.
I would actually like to see
like a small segment, or just something modern, or like post-millennium vibe.
I would actually like to see another sort of modern,
just a modern
infiltration
look.
style thing, which she could wear something like that and it fit. That'd be really cool.
Overall, I think, as we said at the start, there's just something different about Lara and her wardrobe through.
Yeah.
What we at now? 22 years. Is that? No, because we've
No,
had 25.
We've had 25. We are 27.
27. So in 27 years across, 12, 13 games plus spin-offs plus movies, like we've really been treated. I mean, to reference someone similar, James Bond's been going, I think, 40 something years now across 25 films. We don't really have. I mean, I'm sure he wears different things, but nothing is like iconic as some of the looks we have seen Lara Croft in.
Yeah.
She's literally been from there. I mean, what we said earlier, she's been in Alexander McQueen, and she's been in Southern American Tribe Wear. Like, she's really just...
Like, the fashion aspect has been with her right from the beginning, right from all of the publicity, and it's a facet of her and her character is... It's not just the classic outfit that makes her. It is maybe the way in which she wears clothes and the different looks.
Oh yeah.
That bring her to life.
Yeah. No, I couldn't have said it better myself.
Nice. I think it's a good place to end. I think we've covered pretty much everything and pretty much every costume, bar 20-something costumes in Legend.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure we could make an entire episode about on its own, to be honest.
I think someone could make a whole series on that.
Yeah.
It's such a vast topic.
It's a big topic. But yeah, thank you very much for watching and listening. And thank you very much for joining me again.
Thank you for having me.
It's been a pleasure.
Thank you.